Hello, hi, how are you? Welcome to another episode of the Happily Ever After Place. My name is Pearl. On today's episode, we have another lovely author. I am so excited. I'm gonna say this every week. I'm so sorry, guys, but I love talking to authors. I don't know what to tell you. We love authors over here at Pearl and Honey Book Club and the Happily Ever After Place podcast. So anyway, on today's episode, I will be talking to Alexandra Page. She's the author of a book that I just read an arc for earlier in August called A Witch in Notting Hill. It is a very cozy, lovely fall rom-com, but it also has like witchy elements. Like this book really felt to me like putting a lot of my favorite elements together inside a book. Like there's a character who's a witch. The FMC is a witch. There's a bookstore that sells old rare books and occult books. There is the city of London and all of its ancient loveliness and the I'm like, there's magic, there's a black cat, there's just a lot of things that I loved about this book. It is so cozy, and I'm telling you, it is perfect for fall. It was my first fall book of the year, which honestly, I've never really read seasonally before, but I'm not mad at it. I really, really loved it. Like, I feel like I'm ready for fall, you know? And I feel like everyone should start their fall with The Witch in Notting Hill by Alexandra Page. The Witch in Notting Hill is a lovely romantic comedy that definitely made me laugh a lot, but it also really made me feel very cozy and warm inside. We're going to chat about all the things that I loved about the book. We're going to chat about what inspired her to write the book. We're going to chat about things like how this book explores themes of connection and belief and respecting other people's beliefs and how forming meaningful connections with other people or with the right people helps us feel more connected with ourselves. Yeah, there was just so much that I enjoyed about the book that when I read it, I just knew I had to talk to her. So I am gonna stop yapping. I'm not gonna get into a whole thing where I'm talking for 300 minutes. And I'm just gonna jump right in and chat with Alexandra. So don't go anywhere. And we will be right back with Alexandra Page, the author of A Witch in Notting Hill. Stay tuned. Hi, welcome
Hey,
to the Happily
thanks.
Ever After Place. I'm so happy to be chatting with you today.
You too.
I loved A Witch in Notting Hill so much.
Oh,
It was like
thanks.
it felt like my first like fall cozy thing. And like I mean, I love witches, so it was like
Who doesn't?
perfect combination of all of my favorite things. Comedy, romance,
Oh,
witchcraft,
good.
an actress, a bookstore. I'm like, yeah, like it's
All the
like,
highlights.
yeah, I know. It's like if you're making a potion and you just put all of your favorite things, and then it's like, oof, yeah, that's a witch in Notting Hill. It was a really lovely
Oh, I'm
read for
so
me.
glad. Thank you.
Yeah. When I read it, I was like, okay, I have to speak to her. I'm really glad that you agreed to come on. Um, so I'm gonna start with it's kind of a cliche question, but I found that I always get really interesting answers from authors when I ask this. So I'm just gonna jump in with um what inspired you to write this story? Why was this the ch story you chose to tell? Can you tell us like about it?
So this is probably a different answer than you usually get. So this was actually pitched to me by the publisher.
Really?
So yes. So I didn't even know that this was a thing until it was pitched to me, and then I realized that so many books fall under this like IP umbrella.
Mhm.
So essentially, they gave me like a one sentence summary of the plot and the vibe, and then
Mhm.
like a couple of bullet points for each character,
Mhm.
and then I was free to just run with it from there. So it was like a little bit, it was their idea, but then I got to really turn it into what it was.
Yeah.
So. Aside from what I was given, so I lived in London for 6 months a couple years ago, which was like, I'll talk about it to anybody who will listen. It was like the greatest time of my life. Like, I never would have come home if I didn't have to. So,
I
a
can
lot of what
imagine.
they experience in London was inspired by my experience living there. And then for Willow especially, I so typically when I write my female main characters, I try very hard to make them nothing like me, so I
Mhm.
don't end up like inadvertently writing myself.
Yeah.
So I'm a very chaotic type B kind of person. So my female main characters are usually pretty type A,
Mhm.
which forces me to get into a different headspace than my own. So the past couple characters I've written are kind of gals who go by the plan. But then with Willow starting on kind of a chaotic note of like accidentally turning her agent into a cat and everything that came after that, it was like a fun opportunity to lean into her
Mhm.
chaos. So I figured like if she's gonna be, I don't know, like why not be a bad witch? Like why not just like suck at it? And
I
everybody else is good
know.
at it. Like it'll be more fun if she's just like not good at everything she tries. So I had a lot of fun with her just like embracing the chaos of like being a bad witch and then that making her like kind of not a great actor sometimes. Like I just liked that she didn't have all the answers. It was just kind of on this like chaotic journey and Oliver was like, "Oh, please no." And his friends were like, "No, you have to."
I know.
So I was happy that I got a lot of creative freedom in that regard, aside from like the one or two sentences I was given
Mhm.
initially that I could kind of build out the world how I wanted to.
Oh,
So
I
based on my
love
experience
that.
living there, yeah, it was really fun.
It was really fun because, like, I fell in love with the book actually from just the chaos in the beginning. I was like, wait, what do you mean she turned her agent,
Like
her manager into a cat? That was
she's
just,
just a mess.
I love that. And like the entire, like the chaos kind of just went like the entire thread of the book, even like from the airport to like getting to London. And I was just like,
Yeah,
oh my
nothing's
God, the more
easy.
chaotic it got, the more I fell in love with Willow. I
I
was like,
love
yeah, I really, really enjoyed
which
it.
is so fun because when I moved to London, it was chaos from as soon as I got to the airport.
Yeah.
So it was fun to like give her a little of my
What if
own
I write this
experience too.
chaos, but like make it witchy?
Yeah, like just romanticizing chaos
Yeah.
of like, being alive.
No, yeah, that's like it was. I really loved it because it made me think, oh my gosh, I know how chaotic LAX is. So just imagine like making everyone look away. I was like, I love that. That was kind of genius.
Thinking of the like this spells and the kind of things she did was like
Yeah.
some of the hardest part. So it was just a lot of like what would be ideal in a
Hmm.
like an airport setting, like for nobody to notice you.
Yeah.
Just for
Yeah.
nobody to see you.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that made a lot of sense. I really, really loved it. Like it was lovely. I enjoyed like her chaos. I enjoyed the fact that like she wasn't like this perfect witch and she had to kind of find her way through it. It felt very I loved it. It was so cool.
Oh, thanks.
Something that I noticed like throughout the book, it felt like there were all these themes about like connection throughout the story. Because like with Willow, right? Like part of what kind of made her not really made her a bad witch, but kind of what wasn't helping her magic was kind of the way she was isolated from people and like isolated. Like she was like, I can't get connected to people. Like even down to her career, which is like, oh, I can't be in a romance film because it throws off my magic. And then it kind of the more she stayed away from connection, the more it kind of separated her from her magic. And then when she started to connect with Lola and Minho and Oliver, it kind of
I love
helped steady her. Was
that. Yeah.
connection really a thing you wanted to highlight in the story?
Yeah, I wanted her to like I knew that ultimately she was going to end up kind of choosing to like honor her magic a little bit more and taking a step maybe out of the spotlight of Hollywood a little bit. So when I was trying to get to the root of that, like what she was missing in Hollywood, um, I don't know, I felt like like obviously I'm not a celebrity. I don't know any celebrities, but thinking about what somebody in those circumstances might be missing, I
Yeah,
thought that maybe that so much of the connections she had on screen and with co-stars are that's all kind of manufactured.
yeah,
And it's probably easy when you're a celebrity to feel like you don't know why people are people connecting with you for the right reasons? Do people want access to, your resources and your connections and things like that?
mhm,
So I figured something she was probably struggling with in her kind of past life as an actor that she was trying to move away from is probably
mhm,
that she's missing a lot of that like genuine connection.
yeah,
And that's what I liked about Oliver and his friends too, that they were very different as people and their life experiences were different, but their relationships were so strong just because they had that mutual connection of university and
Yeah.
just they were also just kind of alone, in a new circumstance and they were
Mhm.
looking for something and that's how they found each other. So they would
Yeah.
see that in Willow and kind of bring her in. So that felt like something that they could all kind of bond over. They've all been in that
Mhm.
position, but especially something that Willow was missing in
Yeah.
her life as an actor.
No, I loved it. Like Oliver's relationship with his friends was one of my favorite things in the book because I'm like, what do you
Thanks.
mean? A man with actual friends, like with
Imagine that.
actual close friend relationships where they are actually his people? Because most times we know this, like it's mostly with women that you see this where we have like a close community of people. And then like
Yeah.
it was my I think I put that in my review that I loved the fact that he had friends, like
Uh,
real actual friends. It was yeah, it was really lovely. Like I
I
really
love
enjoyed
them.
it.
That's
I
some of my favorite
know.
parts of writing is writing like
Yeah.
the ensemble.
Hmm.
Um, and I try so hard for this any side characters to not just be like serving the plot. I want them to kind of have their own identities and their
Yeah.
own backstories and things like that. So I like getting into them. And it's funny, like I have like no friends from my childhood. Like all of my friends are from my adult life. Like
Yep.
from at least college, but then
Yeah.
after that from like work or whatever.
Yeah.
And my husband's friends are all like guys he met when he was in like first grade and they like alphabetically were next to each other and he's like, "Oh, we sat next to each other and just like stayed friends forever." I'm
Oh
like,
wow.
like I don't know how they do it, but because of that, they've like been through like they're a bunch of guys who have been through like every
Everything.
walk of their lives together, and it's so
Yeah.
cute to like be
Yeah.
around them. I'm like, oh my God, you guys like share things with each other, like
Hmm.
just
No,
like a
I think it's
sweet.
really lovely. Like it's kind of really rare because now that I'm thinking about it, I don't really have any close friendships where it's like I've known them since I was a child. All of my closest friends, like I
No.
have friends that I've had, like my closest friends, we've been friends for like maybe 15 years, but it was all like I met
Hmm.
them when I was like 18, 19,
Yeah.
and we've stayed close the entire time. But it's like so cool. I kind of imagine what that's like. Like someone who has known you through every single phase of your life.
Yeah.
That must be
Even though like
so,
Oliver met his friends in university and whatever, they're
yeah.
like around
But
our
it's
age, they're in
like,
their 30s, but still for
yeah.
them to just like have a connection that they were all
Mhm.
kind of like a little lost.
Yeah. And now
And they
it's like
could see that in Willow and kind of bring her in.
yeah. They're like, oh, look at all of us lost lambs. And now we've built this community.
Yep, she's one of
Yeah.
us.
Yeah. No, that was really it was really awesome. I really loved the exploration of magic in the book. Like it felt really interesting to me, right? Like anyone I don't know if you've seen Charmed, right? Like, I feel like everyone
Yeah.
has seen Charmed. But like if you've
Everyone has seen
watched any magic show or film or TV show, whatever, read a book with magic, the magic kind of always feels like this external thing. Like it's there, but it's like
Mhm.
this really big thing. And like, yes, the characters have powers and they have to really be in touch with themselves to access it. But somehow the magic in this book felt more grounded somehow. It felt like, yes, there were physical manifestations, right? With like Vera and with Willow's magic doing all the wonky, chaotic shit. But it still felt more like being more in tune and like it felt like faith, not in a religious way, but just in like a
Mhm.
knowing and like a way
Yeah.
of understanding and like a willingness to let go. Can you talk about why you chose to explore magic this way?
So, this is like I have not consumed a ton of media in any format that is like I've read a couple of kind of witchy books over the years. I've
Yeah.
seen Charmed or Practical Magic or whatever.
Hmm.
Um, but I didn't really have like a not like a massive frame of reference, and I didn't want to all of a sudden then start consuming. Like I didn't want to just jump into like reading a bunch of stuff or watching a bunch of stuff that was going to end up kind of leaking in. I wanted
Hmm.
to just like build it.
Hmm.
Um, I just from like when I think about like what magic is, like to me that feels so intrinsic. Like
Yeah.
it's different for everybody, and it kind of I don't know comes from your experience and your worldview, like whatever would I don't know, just feels so big, and that like however it manifested for her, it had to be something that was so ingrained within her that you know
Hmm.
only something that was such a part of her could cause such turmoil in her
Yeah.
life. And I love, like, I'm such a sucker for the like old, wise old woman,
Hmm.
which my agent makes fun of me for because in every book I'm like, I'm not doing it. And then we get to page like 10 and she's like, oh, there she is. Like, I can't resist. So, like, had to have this like old, wise grandma and everything I write. There's like one of those.
I love
So I
that.
like that it being passed down from her family too, that it was something that connected all the women in her family. Like, that
Mhm.
felt so personal.
Yeah.
Also, that
Hmm.
I don't know, just when I was thinking about how to develop magic in a way that felt like true to her, but also kind of true to me, like in a way that I could believe,
Yeah.
that magic existed, that was how that made sense to me. Not that I'm
Mhm.
trying to like rationalize magic, but in order to like write a book, you kind of have to in some
Yeah.
regard.
Yeah.
So that was how it made
No.
the most sense to me to just be such a personal journey.
It was really interesting. I really liked it because it was kind of
Thanks.
um it was unexpected, but like the more I read it, the more it felt like I don't want to say realistic, but it almost like the part with like where she's the communion with the dead part of her ritual list, right? Like anyone who's watched anything with magic, right? You would kind of expect that oh, you would actually see her grandma and all of the external things. But then, like, there's the line that I really love that says, we could feel their presence, but they couldn't say a word. Granny Annie said it worked better this way because they'd already said all they were meant to in this lifetime, and their presence alone would guide us towards what we needed to hear. And it really kind of reinforced how grounded the magic felt for me. Like, it made the magic seem I don't want to say realistic, but that's the kind of word, that's the
Yeah,
word that
that's kind
keeps
of what I
coming
would,
to my
yeah.
mind, you know?
I
Like,
wanted it to feel like it wasn't so hard to believe
yeah,
that,
exactly.
could be something. And especially like I'm Jewish and there's no afterlife in
Hmm.
Judaism. So
Hmm.
like it's not something that I've spent any time thinking about. So I'm kind
Hmm.
of like I don't know what she would experience with this grandma.
Yeah.
You know what I
Because,
mean? But
yeah,
like
no
I think
one
anybody
knows.
who's right? And I
Yeah.
think anybody who's lost anybody has probably had some of that feeling of like, are you here with me right now? Like,
Yeah.
is it you?
Yeah.
So, and I didn't think that I don't know. I didn't think she needed to hear from anybody, especially when they lost their friend when they were young. Like,
Hmm.
I don't know. I believe in Granny Annie's theory of just, you
Their
people have
presence,
said what
just
they've
being able
said in
to
the time
feel
you
it.
have with them, and yeah, just having
Yeah.
that connection.
Like here's this supernatural thing, but like the way to have access to it is by observing and understanding and just like being more in tune with your surrounding. Like it just felt so like real in such a
Oh, good.
different
That's always
way.
my hope too when I
Yeah.
write is that people will find a way to see themselves if
Hmm.
they want. Some people read just for the entertainment factor, but if you are somebody who reads to connect with a character or like to see yourself, like I want to give people enough of a blank canvas that they can kind of interpret, especially with something like magic that's like might be hard for some people to believe. I don't know if
Yeah.
you're, whatever. Um, so I'm glad that this kind of resonated, that
No,
it was
it
something
did.
that like could be real, like
Yeah.
people could maybe see themselves having a similar experience that like Willow's just like us, even though she's a celebrity and a witch.
I know, because like you're right. Like when you lose someone, right? The way that I'm like sometimes you feel like, okay, this person is telling me something, like not even in like
Yeah.
a woo-woo spell kind of
Yeah, no,
way,
you just
but it's
like
just
kind of have
like
an instinct.
yeah, it's like you feel a chill or you
Yeah.
just get a
A
feeling that
butterfly.
like, oh, they're with me. Oh, I can see what they
Yeah.
say. It just felt so like it just felt so connected. I really, really loved it. It was so
Oh,
cool. I think
thanks.
I really enjoyed that.
That's so
The
good.
part with the Warham, am I saying that right? The Warham Percy pendulum.
Yeah.
Like the way he kept following Oliver, right? And
Uh,
like Willow had to basically convince herself that it wasn't following Oliver, and it kind like she was imagining it, and it kind of made me wonder how sometimes as people we kind of miss the thing that's right in front of our face because we just expect that okay, for this thing to be correct, it must be more difficult than this, and it must be more complicated than this. But sometimes the thing is just like it's right there. It's the simple, easy thing, and it's right there. Like it's not to say that like difficulty doesn't is always wrong, but it's just sometimes the easier
sometimes it is
simple
the simple
thing
thing.
it's just right. It's the right thing, but it also like we avoid it so much because I guess we know that it kind of requires more from us in a way. And it's like it made me really like I was like, oh my God, she's literally convincing herself that what she's seeing is not what she's seeing. Like, why was that
And like
like
we've all
quiet
been there.
voice? Yeah.
Yes, this is funny. So my husband and I, before we got married, were very, very good friends for a really
Hmm.
long time.
Hmm.
And like we were dating other people and just like the timing wasn't right and whatever, we were convincing ourselves like we didn't have feelings for each other. And then by the time we were both single, he had been single for a while. I was like newly out of this relationship.
Hmm.
And he was pretty much like, we should be together. And I was like, we can't possibly. And he was like, why? And I was like, we just can't. And he was like, okay, why? And so we spent a whole summer of me being like, I couldn't. And him being like, okay, I feel like we can though. And like eventually I was just like, oh, yeah, should we just like be together probably? And he was like, yeah, I've been saying that for a few months. And I was like, oh yeah, no, for sure, for sure. That was 5 years ago. Now we're married. So
Hmm.
like I think I had my own experience of like the thing I wanted or the thing that was right for me or good for me being right in front of me and me being like
Yeah. I
have to take the most convoluted path
Yeah.
to this. And the whole time he was just like, okay, you don't though.
Like
Like
it's right there.
right.
You
We
could just
could just like literally be together. And I
yeah.
just kept being like, no, we couldn't. He was like, okay, I feel like we can. So like that probably came from like whether I don't know, whether it was intentional or not, that
Yeah.
definitely came from my own experience of like fighting so hard against something that was
Hmm.
right in front of me and like for
Hmm.
what? And I
Hmm.
feel like Willow too, she gets to the end and she's like, oh,
Like,
I could have
oh,
this the whole time.
okay. Like this whole time, it was just I could have just done
Yeah,
this.
especially because everything else for her is so hard. Like the magic is hard
Yeah.
and the acting is hard. Like let
Yeah.
the love be easy.
It's
Let
like
her just like have a
can't
nice, good
always.
guy.
Hmm. No, you're right.
You
Like I
know,
thought it was a really interesting like way because I'm like, yeah, we do this in real life where we feel like
everybody does this.
it has to be more complicated than this. Like,
Yep. And if
can't
it isn't, we're gonna make it more complicated, especially as
exactly.
women. And it's like for what? Like
Yeah,
life's hard enough. You
I
know, being a woman
know.
is hard enough.
It is hard enough, but I guess because of it's always hard where like the easy thing can't possibly be the thing.
Nope, too good to be true.
But it's like sometimes it is just the thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because
Which
I
is like
found
something
it
we like
really interesting. Like I'm like the pendulum, it's literally
you're like,
pointing
girl, open your eyes.
like it's right there. But it's just like, no way.
Oh, but then she
There's
has that to
no way.
contend with. It's like,
Yeah. No, that was a really
yeah, I would
like
have
that
done
was
the
a
same
really fun.
thing.
It was really, really fun. I'm obsessed with the fact that Vera could talk at some point. Like, first of all, because I was, I can imagine that she had so much she wanted to say,
Oh
and the moment
God.
that she could, I loved that she could talk at some point. And you know what's crazy? When I was reading that part, I thought surely at some point the rest of like Oliver and Lola and Minho, at some point the gang will get to see her talk. Right? Like, the moments in like any fantasy thing where
Yep.
the non-supernatural beings kind of realize that, oh my God, the supernatural thing is actually real. But like, I really loved how you kind of subverted that also and instead leaned into the theme of you're just gonna have to believe it's there. You're gonna have to respect the
Yep.
belief system of the other person. They don't need to
Yep.
prove it to you if you respect them. You're just gonna have to respect what they believe in. And it kind of made
Yeah.
the part with Oliver toward the end really, really cool and more powerful for me in a way, because it was like Willow wasn't in a position where she was having to prove something. And it was so foolproof because you were like, Granny Annie put a spell where we cannot show anyone else our magic. And I loved that.
No. She
And
doesn't
like,
have shit to prove to anybody.
yeah,
You
like
just have to
it was
believe her.
nice.
Believe women.
Yes, I loved it because I'm like, it made me think of how a lot of people have a really hard time holding like two truths. It's like people feel threatened, like they feel like the idea of respecting someone else's decisions, choices, beliefs kind of threatens their own beliefs, and they can't hold those multiple things at the same time. I feel like
Yes.
multiple ways of thinking can coexist without invalidating
Mhm.
either one of them. Like it was
Yeah.
a really cool thing.
Yeah, I didn't want her to be working to like you can believe me or don't.
Yeah.
And this is my experience. Yeah, I think it would have been too easy for
Mhm.
Oliver just to like see it with his own eyes and be like, okay, your cat can talk. Like, I
Yeah.
believe you now.
Yeah.
Like that was he had to go on another emotional journey to
Mhm.
arrive there. Like I
Mhm.
didn't want to just hand it to him.
Yeah. No, it was really great because I feel like it made it, and then having that, but then also having as part of the rituals that she needed to like have to fix her magical chaotic mistake was that she needed to convince a skeptic. And then it's like, oh, how, because I kept thinking, how is she gonna do that if she can't even show her magic? But it was a really, because it's like, you're right, he needed to go through his own like emotional journey. He needed to find it within himself, and like it was such a great way, like I feel like it played out so beautifully, and it
Oh,
like you didn't just
thanks.
hand it to us. It was like, okay, you
Yeah,
guys are
I
gonna
wanted
have to
him to do
work
a
for
little
it.
work. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
no,
think
it
that
was
spoke a
cool.
lot to his character, like,
Hmm.
going from not believing in magic at all at the end to being
Yeah,
like, you've been right this whole time. And
yeah.
that I loved that her grandma too was like, you don't have to prove yourself to anybody, even though she thought that the purse was kind of a pain in the ass because she couldn't
Hmm.
prove herself to anybody, but ultimately that, her grandma was teaching her people will believe you or they won't, and
Yeah,
this is your
yeah.
experience and fuck them.
Yeah, I know. Exactly. And you know what? I feel like more of us need to think that way because you don't need to prove yourself to anyone. Like,
Mm-mm.
don't prove yourself. They'll believe you or they don't.
Right, or they won't.
Like, live your
Whatever. That's
life.
on them. You know your experience, which, of
Exactly.
course is easier said than done.
I
And,
know.
if everybody just believed women, we
Wouldn't it
would
be
be living
so
in a very different
lovely?
world, but
I know, but that's
we're
not
all
the
good dreams.
case. But yeah, no, it really, I thought it really worked like really well, especially like within the context of the story. I thought it was a really lovely way to explore that. Now bring me to Granny Annie. Like, so like you, I love a wise old witch. I love a wise old woman. I
Any wise
love
old
it. I
woman.
cannot like I started calling myself an old woman when I turned 30. Because I'm like,
Oh
I
yeah,
cannot wait to be the wise old lady. Because I'm just,
same.
there's nothing cooler.
Sometimes I find like a gray hair. I'm like, oh my
Yeah.
God, it's
I,
happening.
I'm like, nothing is
It's
cooler
happening.
than that because you're at the
No.
place where you're like, I have actual wisdom. Don't mess with me. I
Hard
know things.
earned wisdom.
Yes. Like I loved it. And I really kind of loved how she seemed more like a nudger instead of like she's not gonna tell you the thing, but she will nudge you towards the right answer. Because I found it really interesting how she never kind of came out and outrightly told Willow the similarities that they had with their magic.
Hmm.
But she also did not tell her. And it felt like the voicemail that Willow kept going back to was her way. Because it felt like every time she listened to the voicemail, she discovered something new. And like I really, really loved it because it made me think of how sometimes like we're so similar to our parents, our grandparents, but it also doesn't mean that we have the same journey as them. Like their journey is theirs and ours is ours. Like even though they had all the similarities, it was like it was really important to Granny Annie that Willow went through her own journey and was able to discover things for herself. Can you talk about why you chose to write that way?
Yeah. So Granny Annie was actually named after my grandma. My grandma's name is Anne. So that was like my little nod to her.
Mhm.
Um, Most of my wise old women are based off of a great aunt who I had. She was my mom's great aunt. So this is the other side of the family. She's
Uh-huh.
just my grandma namesake. Um, so my mom had this Aunt Renee who passed away when I was in college, and she was just like the ultimate diva. Like she was the coolest woman you've ever seen. She had this like little short haircut. She always had like the loudest jewelry, and her bag was loud, and her glasses were loud, and just like all her shit was loud. Or like her apartment had all this weird shit in it. She was just like the coolest person you've ever known.
Love that.
And so everybody, like all my wise old women are really Aunt Renee. Um, and my mom and I ask ourselves a lot, like, okay, what would Renee do? Like when we kind of need just like a feeling, or like when we're trying to talk ourselves out of something, we're just like, okay, what would Aunt Renee say to me right now? So
Mhm.
she's kind of like the basis of a lot of my like wise older women, and she's not here. So like all we can do is, speculate on
Yeah.
what she might do based on the
Mhm.
person she was. And I
Mhm.
think it's cool for Willow. I mean, every generation, is so different from what their grandparents experienced. So if you read this 20 years from now and you thought Ian Willow was still 30 or however old she is, or if you read this 30 years ago and she was still
Mhm.
30, like there's always such a discrepancy between the lives our grandparents live and the lives we live. But I
Yeah.
think that so much of the of what we learn just from like being alive, no matter if we have technology or, whatever the differences are. I think the lessons are pretty similar.
Yeah.
So for her grandma to be having a similar experience even in her youth and to be sharing that still kind of inadvertently, even though she's gone, for Willow, I don't know. It just like there's something so special, I think, about women passing things down
Hmm.
from generation to generation. So
Hmm.
for her to just be drawing on those lessons that her grandma was trying to instill in her when she was a girl and still having access to that in a way as
Yeah.
an adult, I think is
No.
powerful for her.
It's really cool. Yeah, because I do think that like there's a lot of things. I mean, even just think of human history, right? We're still learning lessons from Homer's Odyssey like 3,000 years after. Like I don't think the lessons that we learn as people, like it's just it never goes away. It never changes. We
Yeah.
can have technology, we can have all the things, but at the end of the
Hmm.
day, we're still people and we still do the same
Yep.
dumb shit
Yep.
regardless of the
And our kids
generation.
will, and our kids' will, and
Exactly.
from
Yeah.
now until
Like I
forever.
found that really interesting because I'm like, oh, she could have just told her, but also sometimes it's like you can, what's that saying? You can lead a man to the fish,
Yep.
you can teach him to fish. Like
Hmm.
Willow needed to learn it and she needed to go through this journey and find the
Same
connection
as
to the
Oliver.
magic. Yeah.
Yeah, there's so much that happens in the journey beyond
Hmm.
just like reaching the destiny. You know what I mean? Like it's about the journey, but it really is. Like if she, so much of what they were both trying to learn, they ultimately learned in the end. But
Yeah.
everything that got them there, neither would have had this like big sweeping emotional arc if it was just like Granny Annie was like, okay, babe, here's what you got to do. And like,
Yeah.
here's Talking Cat. The
Yeah.
book would have been 30 pages long and they
It
both would have been like,
would.
oh, okay,
Yeah.
nice.
And they probably would not have learned it. They probably would have been more resistant to learning it. But like
Mm-hmm.
when you learn it yourself, it's more like, okay, okay, I see what is
Yeah. Then you
happening
take those
here.
lessons and
Yeah.
that kind of development with you. Yeah.
Yeah. No, no, I thought it was really lovely. Plus, I mean, Granny Annie was such a, even though she was never like on the page, she was such an interesting character that I was like, ah, I wish I knew her.
Oh, don't we
Like,
all? Like
I
everybody needs a
know.
Granny Annie.
Yeah, she was lovely. Like I really loved it. I really loved the way Willow was. Like the story was such a it was so cozy, but it was also such a beautiful story that I thought. And then it was funny, it made me laugh. It did all
Okay.
the things. I was like, "Oh, my first fall read." It was
It's
actually
so
my
funny because
yeah.
like so many of my friends who are not like big readers were like, "You have a fall book coming out in August." I'm like, "People are ready for fall reads." I'm like, "Trust
Honestly, we
me,
are.
tis time."
Yeah, it is. It is time. So it felt
Yeah,
really
I'm
good.
already ready for a fall read. I like don't need it.
So I'm like, yeah, we're ready
And
for
I'm like very ready for it to not be hot
I
anymore.
know. Aren't we all? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was good. It was a really cozy read. It made me feel like it felt kind of immersive. I almost felt like I was in London while I was
Oh,
reading
good.
the book, which was really, really fun. And like my
So
favorite thing about
cool.
Europe, just in general, is just how much history there is and like how there's a lot of, I love old things. I don't know
Me
how to
too.
explain it.
Me
I
too.
love things with history. I love things that have
Hmm.
like I love buildings that have lived through things. They can talk.
Yeah, you can feel
What?
it.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
I'm not like my sisters always make fun of me. They're like, oh, she doesn't like brand new architecture. Show her
Oh
something
no,
that's
all
been
that
here
like
a
modern
thousand
glass
years.
shit.
I'm like, no, I want history. I want to know
Same.
that this building has seen things and
Yeah, I
experienced
want it to be
things.
crumbling around me.
Yes,
That's
exactly. So,
perfect.
and I feel like, I mean, London has that in like spades.
Mm,
So, yeah,
it's the best.
it was
I
really
was very happy when they told me that the book was set in London, and I was like, I gotta go back.
Did you go back when you were writing the book?
No, unfortunately, just emotionally. I keep trying to be like, I'll just send you an invoice, and my agent keeps being like, you're not like this is not a business expense. Like, I think you're just on vacation. I'm like, okay, so should I book a trip? She's like, no. Like,
She's
you
like,
literally lived there.
imagine you're there. We're not paying
Yeah,
for
I'm
you to
like,
go on
I
vacation.
was like, I think I have to come
They're
back. She's
there.
like, I think that you lived here and you're all set. Like,
Yeah. No, it was a really, really fun. Like it was a great book. I really enjoyed
oh,
it. I'm so
thanks.
excited for more people to read it. Yeah,
Me
it was
too.
definitely really fun. Okay, I'm gonna switch gears a little bit. I want to ask you some rapid fire questions, some more like fun questions, just No wrong answer. Whatever is good.
Great,
Um,
light on me.
if you had to write only one trope forever and ever and ever, what would it be?
Childhood friends to lovers.
Yeah. Okay. That is an
I think there's something so juicy about like knowing each other your whole lives and then falling in
Mhm.
love. Like,
Yeah.
love.
Cool, cool. What was the first romance book you ever read?
Oh God. Sarah Dessin, the one with the bike on the cover.
I don't think I know.
Along for the ride.
Oh, okay. I've never read this. I know this book, but I've never read it.
I was in like fifth or sixth grade, maybe like I was probably
Yeah.
like 10 or 11 and kind
Mhm.
of leaving my like elementary school of chapter books
Mhm.
behind. I guess I was reading like The Click and all that, which was like so fucked up. But that's the first, Sarah Dessin is the first like romance author I remember like really
Yeah.
getting into.
Cool, cool. What is your favorite book? Do you have one?
So it's called The Strays. It's by
Hmm.
Emily Bitto.
Hmm.
I've never met another person who's read this book.
I've never read this
It's
book.
the only book I've read more than once, which I
Really?
like really don't ever do, but I've gone back to it like twice. I probably have it sitting around somewhere. It is magic.
Hmm.
And I think everybody on the earth should read it. I can't think of a reason not to read it, and nobody I know has ever even heard of it.
Well, I will add it
So
to
The
my list.
Strays, Emily Bitto, everybody needs to be getting on it immediately.
Okay, okay. Um, what is your favorite genre to read?
I read romance and I
Love
read thrillers
that. Hmm.
and nothing in between. Like all the good, sappy, spicy love stories
Yeah.
and like true crime, death, serial
Hmm.
killers,
Hmm. And like
and
no in between. And like
I
sometimes you
read
get
like a lot of
both
like
in one book.
literary fiction too, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's love or crime.
Yeah. No, those are
The
good.
duality of woman.
I know. I know. Um, do you have a favorite romance novel to screen adaptation?
Mm. Oh my God, that's so good. I mean, everything that's coming out recently has just been to die for.
Mhm.
Oh God, I had to give it some thought. I mean, A Heated Rivalry and Off Campus were both a work of art.
Yeah, love them both.
I didn't love Every Summer After. I can't remember what the show that just came out because I
Yeah,
think the show might have had a different name. I didn't love that one as much. It didn't stick with
I
me.
didn't really watch it just because like it's very hard for me to get into like YA stuff for some reason. I don't know
Yeah,
why. I think it's because I don't know. When I was younger, yes. Now I don't know. Young people annoy me. I
young
don't know
people are
how to
annoying.
explain
Yeah,
it.
maybe that's why it didn't sing to me as
I'm
much.
just like, I don't want to know what y'all are going through. Sorry, no.
Yeah, like
But
right, we've been there, we've done that, we
I
survived it. We
know.
don't
And it's
maybe don't
like,
have to
I
go
don't want
back
to
to
relive
it.
my 20s or whatever that is. I'm just like, no, I don't. But people enjoyed
Yeah.
it. So
Yeah.
why
Yeah,
not?
there's
Mix
I
it
don't know,
up.
there are so many good things coming out
There
lately,
are. There are. Like
which
every
like
day I'm like new
good.
adaptation news. I'm like, yes, yes. Like I'm literally counting down until Love Hypothesis.
Oh my God.
Literally
Oh,
counting
we're not even
down.
talking about Bridgerton. Like
I
fucking
know. Oh
Bridgerton.
my gosh. That show has had me in a chokehold for what, fifth season now? I can't wait for the next season. Yeah. No,
I'm
this is
still
so
not over
nice.
Anthony and Kate. It's gonna take me a while to move past them, but
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
get there.
No, totally get it.
But ugh.
What is a book that you've read that made you think, wow, I wish I wrote that?
Anything by BK Borrison.
Yeah.
Literally anything this woman writes. I'm like, God damn it. Like
Cool.
she's just like she is my holy grail
Mhm.
of romance writers, and every single thing I read by her, I'm like, fuck. Business Casual,
Mhm.
especially. I thought the chemistry between those two characters, Charlie and Nova, if you haven't read the Love Light Farm series,
Mhm.
everybody should, but literally everything this woman writes. I'm like,
Okay. I love that. What is a film or a TV show that you've watched that you thought would make a great book?
oh my God, that's such a good question. Um, I always think of Lola Tongue when I say that. Oh, I love this question. She's in that like Summer I Turned Pretty, which is like another great adaptation.
Mhm.
Oh God, a film or a show? Actually, I mean, this is just like topical. I'm not like a huge like I don't know, my like I'm not great at film and TV. Like I watch it, but I don't always absorb it and whatever.
Hmm.
But I'm watching, I say this like it's a series. Like you typically watch a movie all in one shot. I'm not. But I'm like halfway through Do Revenge right now, which like came
Hmm.
out a while ago. But then for
Hmm.
something I'm working on now, my agent was like, go back and watch Do Revenge again. And I think that's gonna help you. So I was like, what a fun assignment. So I don't know why I'm watching it in bits and pieces like a moron, but that kind of like campy
Yeah.
thriller, but with these like fun kind of comedic elements, I think would be a really fun challenge, like as a
Hmm.
book. But that I'm watching right now and would read to death if I could get my hands
Absolutely.
on it.
Yeah. No, I
It's such
agree.
a fun one.
Yeah, that would make
And
a
like you
great
don't see
book.
a lot of that in books. So,
Mhm. Yeah, no, that would definitely make a great book. I agree.
hmm.
What is a book that you've read in the last year that has stayed with you?
Oh God. Let me pull out my I read a lot of books.
Love
So
that.
sometimes I have to go back and have a little
Yeah.
I have to remind myself. Oh, I read The Light We Lost at the beginning of this year.
Hmm.
Jill Santolino, something like that. Um, Beautiful
Hmm.
romance. Usually I don't like my romance with a side of tragedy. I like my romance to just be like happy and mushy. My mom, everything she reads is like Mount Everest and like the Holocaust. I'm like, ma'am. So she got me this book as a gift, and there's
Yeah.
like some like the story starts around 9/11 and I
Hmm.
was like, "Oh, mom." But it was a beautiful. I read the whole thing in a day. It was a beautiful love story.
Hmm.
And I read The
Yeah.
Return of Ellie Black,
Hmm.
Amiko Jean, 10 out of 10 thriller.
Yeah.
Kept me up for weeks. She has a new book coming out soon. Before You Were Anne, I think it's called, that I'm super
Mhm.
excited about. So that's my like romance of the
Yeah.
year so far and my thriller of
Cool.
the year.
I'm more of like a romance girly. I've been reading more fantasy, I think, a little bit this year, but I find that the romance genre is so large that like I get everything
There's
within
always something.
it. Like
Let me
I've
look at my
read
list and see
some
if there's
really
anything else.
amazing like books this year. Like I haven't stopped recommending this book to everyone. Games, A Love Story by Anna Maria Volkova.
Okay, let me
So
add it to my list right now.
totally. You should definitely read it. And if you read it, you should definitely let me know what you think of it. But it's just like within the romance genre, you get to read like fantasy, some thriller, literary fiction, like all the different things. And that's
Yeah.
like really fun for me.
Okay, I'm adding that to my list. Let me see if there's anything else that I've read that I just like died for.
Hmm.
Oh, Sunburn. Is that what it's called? Chloe Michelle Howarth.
I haven't read that.
Divine.
Yeah.
Apocalyptic romance.
I'm adding
Oh
it.
my God, I'm like scrolling through this list. I'm like, everything is good.
Yeah. I'm adding
Everybody's
all of these to my list. Like, you know how your TBR just never stops growing and it just keeps getting longer and longer and
I
longer?
read something recently about how a TBR is like a wine cellar and like you are just building a collection or like when you buy a whole bunch of books and then don't read them right away, like
Hmm.
you're just building a collection and then there's like a season for everything and when you're ready,
Yeah,
then you have a collection to choose from. Like book
I
collect somebody
agree.
said to me, I was doing a signing in Flemington recently in New Jersey and somebody said to me that um book buying and book reading are not the same.
No.
Because her husband was giving her a hard time, like, you don't even read all these books that you buy. And she was like, mm. She was like, I'm supporting local bookstores. I'm supporting authors. Like, I'm going
Yeah.
out for a day with my girls and like buying books. She was like, that's not the same. I don't ever
Yeah.
have to read these things. I
Yeah.
was like,
Exactly. And like it's like, what am I supposed to do? Not buy books? Like, I'm sorry.
what am I supposed to do?
What am I supposed to do? That's like
Yeah,
an
no.
important part of the whole
I'm
thing.
just a gal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So of course, I will
Hmm.
always be like, yeah, buy like my friends and I were just like, oh my God, our TBR. Like right now I have so many books on my desk that it's taking up so much space that I have no space to work on my desk. So I need to build a
So you're
new
gonna have to
bookshelf.
start chipping away.
Yeah. I need to
That's your
build,
motivation.
yeah. I'm like, oh, I need to build a new bookshelf because there's no more space. And I'm like, I'm always gonna get more books. Like, sorry. I
Always.
literally just
Yep.
ordered 4 new books and they're on their way. So
Oh, that's so exciting. Book mail's the best.
I know. It's so
So
fun. Like
excited for
nothing.
you.
It's like an instant like
Hmm.
joy. So yeah,
Hmm.
I would never say no to that.
Nope, me neither.
When did you know that you wanted to be a romance author?
So I've always been like, as a kid, like I was always writing whatever. And then I was a teacher for a little while. And then like a lot of people, like during COVID, I found myself with a shit ton of time and I was sitting at home and I was really daunted by the idea of writing a book, but kind of was like, okay, I'm just gonna write a sentence. And then like, oh, that's not so bad. Like I could write a paragraph. And then like,
Mhm,
oh, maybe I'll write a chapter. You know what I mean? I kind of kept being like, huh, like maybe we'll just keep going. And when I was in college, I went to a very small college
mhm.
and the English program was even smaller. Like when I graduated, I was
Mhm.
one of four English majors.
Oh
So
wow.
like it was super small.
Mhm,
The other three were men and they were um one of them's probably gonna see this. So yes, I'm talking about you if you see this. Um because he just like follows my right, whatever. And they were like, oh, like literature. And
yeah.
I was like, romance is literature, you clown. Like they were just like, that like
Mhm,
university environment that and like I went to Moravian College, which is Moravian University now, and like the the women teaching in the Moravian College English department and the men, I had like two male professors, they were good too. But like just the department was incredible. And
mhm.
but you know how like conversations can go sometimes and that
Yeah.
people kind of like look down a little bit,
Like
I think, on
romance, you're
romance.
not really reading books. I'm like, yes, I am. What do you mean?
Like, oh, they're predictable. Like, oh, they're tropey. Like, they're gonna end up together. Like, right, and that is why they're so great.
I know.
Um, so then it was important to me too to not feel like I had to try to write like, I don't know, like the next great American novel. Like, I
Mhm.
think romance is the next great American everything. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. And so when I decided I wanted to write a book, and like my goals for writing are just to like bring people joy. I want
Mhm,
people to feel joy
mhm.
when they read. So like as far as I'm concerned, like that, that's as valid and important
Of
as anything
course.
else.
Yeah.
So when I decided I was going to write, and when I write, I spend so much time living in the book. I'm thinking about it before I go to sleep. I'm thinking about it in the shower. So if I'm going to spend that much time engrossed in anything, why not
Something
have it
good.
be love, right?
Mhm.
Like, and I'm such a sensitive gal. Like, if I even when I'm like reading a thriller, then I have nightmares. Like, I can't if I was trying to write something that I
Yeah.
can't have that like seeping into my dreams. And
Yeah.
just like I love love. I'm just like a big mushy gal.
Yeah.
So
No, I love that because it's like this is a conversation. It frustrates me, which is the
me too.
entire reason that my book club exists anyway. And reason I wanted to do this to talk to romance authors because I'm like, we spend just as humans, right? We spend so much time wanting to be happy, joyful, hopeful. We want to love and be loved. But then here are
Mhm.
books about it, and people are like, oh, those are not
Looking
real.
down on it. Yeah.
What are you talking about? First of
I
all,
think just people don't want to admit that they
no.
want to love and be loved. You know what I mean?
And
People are, I think,
like,
just so hardened.
yeah, and we've elevated suffering and pain and like
Oh,
they're like these
yes.
are bigger and I'm like, yeah, but so are love and joy and hope.
Yes.
And I'm sorry, but no one is waking up every day being like, you know what I want to do today? Be miserable.
I'm so in the mood to suffer.
I know no one ever is
My friend's
thinking.
husband is in a book club and the books they read
Mhm.
are like how women's fragrances, like when you look at like deodorant or like perfume are like Bunny in a Meadow, and
Yeah.
men's fragrances are like gunpowder and death. And it's like, for
Yeah.
what? Like that's this guy's book club. And she always says to him, like, reading, like this doesn't have to hurt.
I know.
Like you guys can be masculine and also just like read a book you like. They're always reading like the history of pain. And she's like, why?
Why?
And like that's yeah, I think it's that people like don't want to admit that
Yeah.
they want love and
Yeah.
like, and I think
Yeah.
the romance gals aren't afraid of that.
No, and it's also the like one, this is a like a genre that's predominantly written by women, predominantly read by women, and it's like we're women, of course we're not supposed to be taken seriously. Duh. Like women and our girl brains, what do you mean? And it's like even the
Ridiculous.
argument that like it's so tropey and you know how it's gonna end. I'm like, I know how a mystery is gonna end. I know you're gonna
Right, we
solve
all
it.
know.
Like I've watched how many, there's like three Knives Out films. They're great, but they solve the mystery in
They're
the
great.
end. Doesn't stop me
Right.
from enjoying it. Like,
Right.
Sorry,
It's fun
but
to see, like, okay, yeah, we know they're going to end up together, but like, how do we get there?
I know. Like, you know, the
Even if you
Avengers are
gave me
gonna
an
kill
outline
them.
of a book and you said this is exactly what's going to happen in the book, I'd be like, okay, great.
Thank you.
Let me buy the book.
Yeah. It's like
Yeah, I think
the
people are just
journey is the thing. It's not just like, oh, they're gonna end up together. Okay, but they're not gonna meet today and then tomorrow be like, ooh, and they lived happily ever
right. It's fun
after.
to see them fall in love.
Things are gonna
Yeah, I think it's just
happen.
everybody's way of just, it's another way to
Yeah.
downplay.
And it's also like you would think that like in the super hyper capitalist world that we live in, people would at least respect the fact that the publishing industry basically exists because people are buying romance books. If
Literally.
no one was buying romance, no one would be publishing books because, sorry, but
Literally.
like this entire industry is basically surviving with our money.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
So like at least have some respect for
like
like,
at
yeah,
the
if you're
very
the
least, like,
capitalist
oh,
douchebag, like, okay, well,
yeah, it's
this
kind
is
of
the reason you can read your weird, shitty books about
exactly.
pain and
I know.
suffering.
I know. Like it
I
just
mean, everybody read whatever you want, but
like read whatever you want. I just really hate the fact that like romance readers keep having to deal with that argument and that conversation. Like, oh, I'm
like
like,
it's
oh,
just a romance.
yeah. I'm like, oh, sorry. I'm sorry, but this is an exploration of humans and like how we feel, how we work, the ways that we experience the world, the way we experience other people. Like, I think
Yeah,
those things are important.
me
They
too.
matter. But yeah, it's like
Yeah.
it comes up like every 2.5 days, there's someone being like, oh, romance books are not really, but I'm like, okay, you know what? At this point, I'm not gonna
Shut up. How many
be
books have you written, idiots?
yeah. Anyway, oh my gosh. Okay, if you had to write a different genre, if you could not write romance and you had to write something else entirely, what would you choose?
So I actually wrote a young adult
Yeah.
that my agent has like kind of out in the works right now.
Mhm.
So I don't know from I guess teaching. I taught high school for a while and then I taught middle school. So I had su and I worked at a camp for like 15 years with middle school boys. Like I just felt like I had such like a microscope on young people
Hmm.
from the point of view of an adult, which
Yeah.
is I guess like unless you're a teacher, you're kind of in that. It's kind of rare.
Hmm.
Um, so I was able to like look back on my own experiences and the experiences that young people are still having now. So
Hmm.
that was fun to like kind of tap into. Like I wrote that while I was teaching, so I was like actively seeing like teenagers, just navigate their struggles that feel so big.
Yeah.
And they are, like whatever everything's relative. So it is the end of the world,
Hmm.
when X, Y, and Z happens and you're 14.
Hmm.
So that I had a lot of fun with. I set it at a camp. I like grew up at camp. I met my husband at camp. Like all my friends are from camp. So that was fun to like revisit
Yeah.
that experience of
Mhm.
like being 15 at camp.
Yeah.
And so hopefully, and I have an idea kind of floating around for another young adult story. So hopefully I can kind of
Cool.
break in there.
Yeah. No, you're right. Like when you're younger, everything feels massive. Like I think
And
no
yeah.
one warns you about the fact that when you get to like your 30s and like you've experienced things and you've survived things, like that's when oh, nothing is really like things are big, but it's like ugh, I've been through
But there's
things.
something so romantic about
Yeah,
everything being the
it
end of the
really
world.
is.
Like
It's
even
like, oh my God,
suffering is
my life
fun when
is over.
like I dated a guy for like 15 years when I was young who just used to dump me like once a week. He would break up with me and like I just loved the drama of it all, like the wallowing and my friends and like me getting dumped and we're getting back
I
together. Like
know. But like,
I
can
was just
you
like
imagine
regularly
like
getting
going
dumped,
through
but
that
like
now as like an adult? It's like I don't have time for this nonsense.
but it's so fun when you do. Like when you're
Yeah,
14, like what else do you have time for?
I
Like, yeah,
know.
I'll get
You
dumped
like,
every 5 minutes because then I'll have something to cry to my friends about. And like, that's
I
so fun. And like,
know.
I'm staying up late listening to sad songs. Like, I just like love that era of life. It's just like so messy and
Yeah,
like
it is.
honest,
It's like a rite of
like,
passage. I love it.
yeah. So it's
Yeah.
fun to like get into that headspace of
Hmm.
like
Hmm.
not having to tone down any of the big feelings, like
Yeah.
really kind of embracing them. I like that about
Feel
young adult.
everything on like the
On
highest
10.
possible
Yep.
scale.
Yep. All of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. No, that's so cool. So, do you know what your next book is going to be? Is it going to be the YA one or is there something else that it's in the works? Do you know?
There are always things in the works. So the YA one right now is out and about. We're trying to kind of land her somewhere.
Hmm.
Um, I have one book that I wrote a couple years ago, another adult romance set in Sweden. That's kind of hanging out on the back burner right now. I think I have to
Hmm.
revisit that. Then I was like three-quarters of the way into this Scottish, like
Hmm.
coastal fishing town situation. My agent called me and was like, I have an idea. So now we kind of have something else in the works. I actually hit page 100 today. So that's like coming along. So
Hmm.
I don't know. There are like a lot of moving parts at this time. So I'm just trying to like trust the process, like keep my head down, keep grinding, and keep sending her shit and just being like, what about this one? So I guess we'll see what I don't know what lands next.
Cool.
It's like the industry is so brutal. It's so slow
No, I know.
and so frustrating. So I'm just
Yeah.
like, if I get too caught up in it, then my writing suffers. Then
Yeah.
I start to like hate the process and
Yeah.
get discouraged. So right now I'm trying like I'm in a really good routine. I'm writing 1,200 words a day and I'm just like
Oh,
keeping the
wow.
blinders on and
Mhm.
doing the words and just like enjoying the process. And then I guess we'll see
Yeah.
what comes
I feel
next.
like that's like the almost like a curse of the creative thing where if you get so caught up in like the business industry part of it, it starts to affect
And
the
ruin the
thing that you
creativity
love that you're
immediately.
doing. And it's like, so you have to find like a balance. Like, okay, I can
Right,
care
because you
this
have to
much.
care
Yeah,
still. Like you have to be invested.
you
Like it
do.
is a business to
Yeah,
some extent, you know
exactly.
what I mean? But then
Yeah.
as soon as I can feel myself like letting it in, or I feel
Mhm.
like I'm writing to the business instead of like to the readers or for myself, like then I
Yeah.
start to lose the
Yeah.
whole thing. So I have to just kind of like keep my head down. Like my agent does her work. Like I trust her with
Hmm.
my life. She knows what she's
Hmm.
doing on her end.
Hmm.
My end, my job is to do the writing. So I'm
Yeah.
just head down doing the writing. This new project, though, the one that she recommended I watch Do Revenge for,
Hmm.
is fun. It's like almost like a Witch in Notting Hill in that it's like a little bit of a departure from my usual romance, has some different elements from different genres, but
Hmm.
it's a fun writing challenge. I'm doing something new, so we'll see. I don't know what's
Cool.
next.
I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, thanks.
I am. Thank you so much for doing
Thank
this.
you, Pearl. This was my favorite interview
Oh
that
my
I have done. You're so insightful. Is this something you do like is this something you do for a living? Do you interview people? Do you have like a customer facing job? Do you have a day
God.
job? Like I don't know
I
what you
do
do,
not.
but
I do
you
not
don't.
at
This
all.
like
My
I've
like
loved
real
every
life.
interview I've done, but
Yeah. I'm
this
so
is not your real life job.
no, my real life job is more like creative filmmaking, story development. That's more my thing. But I'm
Interesting.
just like in love with books and like getting into the mind of authors and just getting down to like, because I feel like part of the whole thing about how romance is not a real literature, but I feel like there's just so much depth always within
Yeah.
the stories, and every author is saying something and talking about something and exploring something. So
Yeah.
being able to just have conversations about that and get to know what was in the mind of the authors while they were creating the characters is
That's such a
something I'm really passionate
I
about.
love every like getting to do an interview with anybody, like getting to yap about my books is like so special and just like such an
Yeah.
honor. But just this like I don't know, your questions are just like really so like meaty and thoughtful and
Thank
it's
you.
just
I
like such an
really
honor to have somebody like read my work with that lens and to like be interested and to care and to like I don't know, just like do an analysis like that of something I've written. I don't know. I just am feeling very honored and grateful and I loved this
I'm very, very
opportunity.
happy about that. I'm so glad that you did this. My
Me
literature teacher
too.
would be very proud of me. I know that much.
As somebody who was a literature teacher, I am very proud of you. And like I'm
Oh
sure
my
she would
God.
be.
Thank
This was a really,
you.
really good interview. I had
Thank
so much
you
fun with you.
so, so, so much.
Thank you.
Guys, viewers who are gonna watch this has been such a great interview. I'm gonna link everything about Alexandra's book in the description of the episode, where you can connect with her on Instagram. Are you on Thread?
Yeah. What'd you
What's
say?
Instagram? Are you on Threads, Instagram,
I'm
TikTok?
not on Threads, but I am on Instagram. I'm not on TikTok either, but
Okay.
definitely connect with me on Instagram.
Okay, I will link your Instagram and I will link like the link to buy her book because I need everyone to start their fall with A Witch in Notting Hill because it's so
Thank
fun and it's so
you.
cozy and you're gonna love it. Thank you. This has been
Thank
absolutely
you.
wonderful. Um,
Ah, I agree. I'm excited to see the episode.
me too. Okay, bye.
Thanks, bro.
Bye.